Hey, welcome. It's kind of crazy when you think about it. The way we all shop has probably changed more in the last 10 years than it did in the 100 years before that. So today, we're going to unpack that whole transformation, from the old school click-clack of a shopping cart wheel to the wild tech that's already changing how we check out. All right, let's get into it.
So why are we talking about this right now? Well, it all starts with this one number, 85%. That's the absolutely massive jump we've seen in contactless payments lately. Seriously, this isn't just some tiny trend. It's a tidal wave that's completely changing how we handle our money and how we deal with stores. It's the engine behind this whole shopping revolution. But before we dive into all the futuristic stuff, let's take a quick step back and ground ourselves in the basics, the timeless parts of shopping. We'll start with the classic brick-and-mortar store, the place where it all began. Just a quick refresher.
We all know the layout, right? It starts with the aisle. It's just the path between the shelves, but it's really the track that guides your whole journey through a store. Then, of course, what's the first thing you do? You grab a basket or a trolley. It's your sidekick, your tool for gathering up all the things you're hoping to buy. Eventually, that journey takes you to the counter. This is the finish line, right? The stage where everything gets scanned and tallied up for that final exchange. And last but not least, you get the receipt. It's your proof of purchase, that little piece of paper, or, an email these days, that says, yep, the deal is done. Pretty simple. These are the classic pieces of the puzzle. And you find these same classic pieces in all the usual spots. We're talking about the local shops on the high street, those giant supermarkets, or the everything under one roof experience of a shopping mall. Okay, so we've covered the where, but now let's talk about the how. Because here's the thing. Every single purchase, whether it's big or small, online or in person, it follows the exact same four-step dance. And here it is. It's this simple. First, you select what you want. Then, you move to the checkout. After that, you pay for it. And finally, you get a confirmation that it's all yours. Selection, checkout, payment, confirmation. That little sequence is literally the DNA of every transaction you'll ever make.
Now, what's interesting is how we actually get through that process when we're face-to-face. We have this kind of universal shopping language. These simple, direct questions like, do you have this in a larger size, or how much is this? They're like little verbal shortcuts that help the whole system run smoothly. It's that human touch in the middle of the transaction.
All right, so we've got the classic model down. We know the place, the process, the language. But now we get to the big one, the great shift. This is the moment when technology took that four-step process and just completely blew up the payment part of it.
So, here's the crucial point. This wasn't just about a company inventing some new gadget. This change was driven by us, by consumers. We started wanting faster, safer, and just plain easier ways to pay. And digital solutions gave us all of that. Plus, this perfect little record of where all our money is going.
And wow, this chart just lays it all out, doesn't it? It shows you exactly how huge this shift has been. Look at this. Cards are totally dominant at 65%. And mobile wallets, using your phone, they've already grabbed a massive 20% chunk of the pie. And cash, well, it's hanging on with just 12%. The data couldn't be clearer. We are living in a digital-first world now.
So this digital revolution, it didn't just stay put at the checkout counter. No way, it exploded outwards. And it basically erased the lines between walking into a physical store and scrolling through the endless aisles of the internet. This collision of two worlds, that's what we call omnichannel. It's all about making one single smooth experience for you, no matter where you are.
For a long time, we saw these as totally separate things. Going to a store was for that instant gratification, right? You could actually touch the products, try things on, and online was all about pure convenience. Shopping at 3 a.m., comparing prices in a second, and getting it delivered to your door.
But that whole in-store versus online debate, it's over. The future isn't about picking one or the other. It's about how these two worlds are going to merge and create something totally new. So what exactly is coming our way?
Two technologies are really leading the charge here. Artificial intelligence and augmented reality. And look, this isn't science fiction anymore. We're talking about AI that acts like your own personal shopper, or AR apps that let you see how a new sofa looks in your living room, right through your phone. And those stores where you just walk out without ever going to a checkout, they're already here.
And this brings us to what might be the single most important takeaway from all of this. The brands that are going to win in this new world of retail are the ones who figure out how to blend these two things perfectly. The goal is to take the absolute best parts of the physical world, that experience, the human interaction,
and fuse it together with all the power and convenience of digital tech.
Which kind of leaves us with one last thing to think about. This whole evolution is moving so fast. From walking down an aisle to swiping on a screen to maybe just walking out of a store with your stuff, the very definition of buying things is being rewritten as we speak. So the real question I have for you is, what do you think your next checkout is going to look like?